Helps if you unmute yourself before you begin. Hey there, I am Cindy Rowe, host of the Kindness Advantage, where in 10 minutes or less, I will give you ways to incorporate kindness not only into your daily life, but into your business and organization as well. And today's topic is the regret of kindness. And I will have to be honest with you, I've never actually considered that side before. But a friend of mine just shared with me this morning another podcast with Brene Brown and Dan Pink on the Dare to Lead podcast. And it talked about regrets. And one of those were the regrets of kindness, basically the lack of, like when you had the opportunity to be kind and you chose not to. And I think in that podcast, he talks about unkind in by inaction. And if I will drop the in the notes below, in the comments below, a link to the podcast because it was excellent. It talked a lot about different regrets, and majority of the time, it's we're regret what we didn't do versus regretting what we've done. And kindness fits into that as well. And I did a couple Google searches on this because I was just really surprised for one, I didn't ever think about it, and two, I was just curious on what might be out there about this. And I stumbled across a graduation speech from 2013 by George Saunders, who is a author and a professor. And it was at a graduation speech at Syracuse University, and he speaks about his regret of not being kind. And it's excellent too. I will also share a link to that because I um, enjoyed so much of what he had to say. And I think as humans, right, sometimes there's opportunities where we can be kind, but we choose not to. Maybe because it's a difficult situation, or maybe because it's inconvenient. Um, and maybe it's just because we're unaware, right? We're so stuck in our lane and have our blinders on that we're so unaware of the situation. Um, and I think we can, now that that this has been brought to my attention, I'm pretty certain all of us have been in a situation where somebody was being picked on, or things that were being said were untrue, and you just kind of sat back, right? Because it was a little uncomfortable to say something, to stand up for them. And I will be the first to say that that would be me, especially as a young child, and probably well into my 20s and maybe 30s, because I was a people pleaser, and I still fight that battle today. But trying to make sure that everybody's happy and everybody's pleased, and so I don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings by standing up for somebody else. But then I'm feeling really sick because it's not fair how this person's being treated. So I think that we've all had moments where there was somebody in front of you that was being picked on or suffering, and you didn't respond, or you did so in a very mild manner. And so this is a really check for me, like almost an aha. I feel like there's so much growth that we can take away from just thinking about this, regretting not being kind to somebody, because there is a popular quote out there that says you will never regret being kind, but you'll regret being unkind when you could have been. So I just honestly listened to this podcast this morning when I was doing some other work, and I will have to listen to it again because I think there was so much to walk away from that conversation between Brene Brown and Dan Pink. But I feel like I try to give you guys solutions of how, we can walk away from this and be better humans, be more kind. And the one thing that stands out in my mind uh, about these situations is, being present in the moment, right? If we are present with the people that are in front of us, then we are more apt to understand and see what it is that they need from us. And it's always better to stick up for the person when you know what's happening is unfair, untrue, and be their ally. And so I just hope that you take the time to not only listen to this, and please let me know that if you listen to it live or if you listen to this on the replay or on the podcast, I would totally appreciate that. Um, but take the time to listen to the graduation speech that I'm going to share with you, and the Dare to Lead podcast I'm going to share with you as well, because I think we have a good lesson to learn. And like I mentioned earlier, you will never regret being kind, but there will be regrets when you choose not to be kind. And so I'll leave you like I leave you every week. Together, we can create waves of change through kindness. Thanks for watching.